This exclusive NBC5 News presentation, looking back on 2024, is sponsored by the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe and Sherms Markets.
Welcome to this NBC5 News 2024 Year in Review special. I'm Andrea Boyd.
And I'm Craig Smullen. Thanks for being with us. It's been a wild year in Southern Oregon and Northern California, but the biggest story of the year for us is one that's far from over.
Of course, we're talking about the alleged drug diversion case at Asante's Signature Hospital, Rogue Regional Medical Center.
NBC5's Maximus Osborne takes us through the wild criminal and civil case that actually began in late 2023 when NBC5 News broke the story about the ongoing investigation into several deaths.
One of the reasons why I'm interested in this case is because I want to just find out what the truth is.
Local attorney David D. Villeneuve with Schlesinger and D. Villeneuve has been working with the alleged Asante victims and their families for months. Their massive civil lawsuit against Medford-based Asante, which is one of several civil lawsuits filed by different local law firms, is growing as more clients are filing suit. Their suit has now grown to well over $300 million. It alleges Asante didn't follow safety protocols and prevent a nurse from replacing fentanyl meant for patients with tap water, causing infections.
Asante conducted an internal investigation which isolated these infections to a specific time frame from July of 2022 to July of 2023. They isolated the location of where these infections were occurring within the hospital, the ICU unit, and one employee.
Medford police arrested former Asante nurse Danny Marie Schofield in June. MPD says the investigation started after Asante became concerned with the rising number of central line infection cases. Schofield now faces 44 counts of second-degree assault.
I think this will go down as the most complex, biggest case this county has ever seen and that our office has ever handled.
The largest civil suit claims Asante should have known about the likelihood of drug misuse by its employees. One of the reasons listed in the lawsuit behind the claim is Asante's alleged repeated instances of drug misuse by employees in the past. Outside of the alleged repeated instances of drug misuse, the lawsuit says Asante also should have known due to the prevalence of misuse nationally.
You don't think of medical professionals doing this, but 10% of medical professionals divert drugs. 10%. That's a lot.
The lawsuit alleges that patients, particularly those who lived, suffered pain that they otherwise would not have experienced had their pain medication not been diverted. That's something local law firms representing alleged Asante victims are also emphasizing.
The family's there watching him. They're frustrated because they can tell he's in pain. That's the second claim. Not only did he die because of this, but he also suffered unduly because he wasn't being administered the fentanyl that he should have.
The criminal trial against Schofield won't go to trial until 2025. She has pleaded not guilty. In Medford, Maximus Osborne, NBC5 News.
Maximus, thanks. A dozen years after purchasing land in South Medford to build a casino, the Coos County-based Coquel tribe's efforts took a major step forward just last month. The Federal Bureau of Indian Affairs says it will issue a statement supporting the tribe's off-reservation casino plans on South Pacific Highway, remodeling the old Roxanne lanes. The Coos Bay tribe owns the bowling alley, which closed this summer, as well as neighboring Compass by Margaritaville and Bear Creek Golf Center on South Pacific Highway. Its leaders have said for years it wanted to ensure the economic security of the tribe from earthquakes and other natural disasters and open businesses inland. The tribe has its Class 3 casino in North Bend, but is looking to build a Class 2 casino off-reservation in Medford. That means there would be no table games. While the federal government is giving it another step forward, it is not final.
The city of Grants Pass is still working on how to deal with its homeless issue months after the Supreme Court ruled in Grants Pass's favor regarding its controversial homeless laws. The ruling and the ripple effect it has on cities across the country made national headlines this summer. NBC5's Lauren Preto was there in August when City Council held an emergency meeting to discuss its designated campsites.
The Grants Pass City Council emergency meeting was to discuss its two new designated campgrounds located on A and J streets. According to City Manager Aaron Kubik, the city has no legal obligation other than designating these sites.
While it is our goal to provide as much support as possible, it is equally important that we do so in a way that protects the city from potential legal liabilities.
Members of the Mobile Integrative Navigation Team say it's cruel for the city to leave these people out without shade, water, additional bathroom facilities, and more. They say when these people were in the parks, they were provided with things they don't have now.
I do appreciate the fact that you're not required to put up covered awnings, but when it's 100 degrees outside, which is supposed to be this weekend, and you have people who can't walk, and there's a lot of them in there, you are going to have medical emergencies. It's inevitable.
After Mint, the public was invited to share their thoughts. Some agree with Mint, saying the city isn't helping the homeless population enough.
The Honorable Council of People may not have yet realized that by opening approved camping locations, we have, and rightfully so, accepted the responsibility for our fellow human beings.
I'm ready to go out there right now and build a shelter.
We treat our dogs better than we do people who have no home.
Others say the city needs to stop helping the vagrants that continue to threaten the tax-paying citizens.
We need to rid our community of the vagrants because they are the ones that are sucking the resources out of this community.
And our problem isn't with homeless people. It's with people not allowed home because they'd rather do drugs.
After the 3-hour meeting, the city council voted to allow nonprofits to provide shade, water, and benches. The city itself would maintain sanitation standards and provide doggy bags and cigarette butt collection cans. Councilmember Dwight Frazier says the city's done enough.
What I mean by the city has done its part, I mean that we have provided a place for people to be. Any service that we provide as a city here moving forward, we need to be prepared to provide that service in perpetuity, theoretically, forever. I'm not willing to do that.
The city council finished its meeting by voting to increase the allowable time spent at both campsites to 1 week. The vote was tied with council members Riker, Yunker, Frazier, and King voting no, but Mayor Sarah Bristol broke the tie and voted yes. Council member Vanessa Augur says she doesn't understand the point in moving these people out.
I really encourage this council to look to the future, have an ounce of vision, and ask what the next goal is after that. Is it to get these people back into housing, or is it to be cruel?
In Grants Pass, Lauren Preto, NBC5 News.
The issue is far from settled. Next year, the city of Grants Pass will see some major changes to its city government. 4 new Republican city councilors, along with a new Republican mayor, won election in November.
The largest dam removal project in U.S. history wrapped up along the Klamath River this fall. Within weeks, salmon were being spotted in the Klamath Basin. A fall run of Chinook salmon was identified by ODFW fish biologists in a tributary to the Klamath River above the former J.C. Boyle Dam. This is the first time salmon have been seen in the basin since 1912.
A jet boat collision in Josephine County in August rocked the Rogue Valley. The investigation into the August 4th crash between Hellgate jet boat excursions and a private jet boat is beginning to wrap up, with one report indicating that excessive speed and operator error by both pilots contributed to the crash. However, Josephine County Sheriff's Office Marine Deputy Kyle Wolf said that under Oregon River navigation rules, the Hellgate pilot was most at fault because he was traveling upstream and is responsible for yielding. Several people were injured.
Klamath Falls man Nagazi Zubari was found guilty on all counts in Medford's federal court this fall. His trial captured national attention. Zubari was charged with kidnapping a sex worker in Seattle in the summer of 2023, sexually assaulting her, driving her to Southern Oregon, and leaving her in a makeshift cell in his garage on El Dorado Avenue. He was also accused of kidnapping a Klamath Falls woman in 2023, as well as being a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition. Zubari will be sentenced in January.
We finally have a resolution in the murder case of original Disney Mouseketeer Dennis Day. The talent man went missing 6 years ago. This July, his former handyman Daniel Berta agreed to a plea deal in the case and was sentenced to over 4 years in prison. Berta was living with Day when the Phoenix man went missing in 2018. Prosecutors say Berta shoved Day to the ground and let him die by not taking actions to prevent it. Day's badly decomposed body was found by Oregon State Police in his own home months after he was reported missing under a pile of clothes right after OSP took over the case. His family's $2 million civil lawsuit against Phoenix police went to trial in October. It was thrown out by the judge. Their lawyer tells NBC5 News they plan to appeal. A United Airlines flight that landed safely in Medford in March was discovered to be missing an external panel underneath the plane. MFR's airport director, Amber Judd, says pilots were performing a routine post-flight inspection when it was discovered. She says no issues are reported during Flight 433 from San Francisco to Medford on March 15th.
The city of Brookings paid over $400,000 in legal fees as part of a settlement following a long-running dispute with a local church over the feeding of the homeless. Back in March, a federal judge in Medford strongly sided with St. Timothy's Episcopal Church after Brookings attempted to limit the amount of days the congregation could operate a soup kitchen in its residential neighborhood. Despite the opposition, the church never stopped working to feed the hungry. In his ruling, federal judge Mark D. Clark wrote that the city should consider itself fortunate to have Father Lindley and his congregation as compassionate, caring, and committed members of the community. Coming up on NBC5's Year in Review special, Medford's massive new facility.
And how locals are reacting to Rogue X's debut in Southern Oregon's largest city. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our 2024 Year in Review special. I'm Craig Smolin.
And I'm Andrea Boyd. Topping business headlines this year. After years of work, Rogue X finally opened less than a week into the new year. Families in Medford and all over the Rogue Valley are now able to enjoy a plethora of different activities in the massive new building, including swimming year-round. The recreational swimming areas are fully heated, whether you're swimming laps, floating down the lazy river, or even dropping in on one of the water slides. Medford's Parks and Rec Director, Rich Rosenthal, says Rogue X is an investment in the community for generations to come, and locals were pumped for the first day.
Do tournaments, swimming, everything here.
You want to come back?
Yes.
You have your birthday party here, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we already booked a birthday party. Like, yeah.
We're ready.
In addition to the aquatics activities, the 8 full-size basketball courts allow for serious versatility. They've hosted multiple sports tournaments and even conventions and non-athletic events.
Providence Medford Medical Center nurses went on a 5-day strike in June. The hospital and its nurses union have been discussing a new contract much of the entire year. The nurses say they've been fighting for safe staffing, competitive wages, and benefits. Providence says last month it made a historic proposal that would give a full-time nurse on average an increase of more than 20%. Asante says it laid off about 3% of its workforce, about 200 people, in February. The Medford-based health system said in an internal memo that the moves, along with other cost-cutting steps, were necessary to offset 2 years of, quote, financial headwinds. Asante told employees in an email that efforts to reduce costs coming out of the pandemic have not kept up with underperforming revenue. According to that email, from now on, Asante will be operating differently to meet current and future healthcare challenges.
The new Amazon warehouse in Central Point opened in mid-August. Amazon bought the land behind Costco the previous year. Amazon also just opened its new delivery station in Klamath Falls in the last few weeks. It's on Altamont Drive. Our very own Patsy Smolin, the owner and president of California Oregon Broadcasting, KOBI-TV, NBC5's parent company, was honored in New York City last month. Patsy was being honored as a giant of broadcasting and electronic arts by the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation. Since its inception, the LABF has recognized 255 distinguished individuals. Patsy was being honored alongside Today Show meteorologist Al Roker and Emmy and Tony Award-winning actress Christine Baranski, along other notable media figures. Congratulations and thank you, Patsy, from all of us on all your hard work and this amazing honor.
Still to come, following in the footsteps of the great Dick Fosbury, Medford has a new competitor taking the Olympic stage.
How Jada Ross capped off an incredible 2024 in Paris when NBC5's Year in Review special returns.
Welcome back to NBC5's 2024 Year in Review special. I'm Craig Smolin.
And I'm Andrea Boyd. And in the world of sports, Medford made it onto the international stage this year in a way we haven't seen in decades.
It's so incredible. Medford native and U of O star Jada Ross became Medford's first Olympian since high jumper Dick Fosbury won gold in Mexico City back in 1968. Ross earned a trip to the Summer Olympics in Paris after finishing third in the shot put at the U.S. Olympic trials in Eugene. Before that, she had a record-breaking year for the Oregon Ducks, winning the NCAA title.
Yeah, this means the world to me. This means the world to me. I have my North Medford coaches here. I have my head coach, Peter Vasquez, and my two throws coaches here.
In the Paris Olympics in August, Ross finished fourth just off the medal stand. Her best throw was only 0.04 meters behind third place. For family and friends watching in Medford, it was beyond a thrill.
Just wow, like she did amazing, and no matter what happened today, even if she fouled out the whole time, like just to get to this point, these are the best in the world.
Indeed, and with her athletic prime still ahead of her, these Jada Ross fans will likely be gathering together again in 2028 to watch Medford's best compete in the Los Angeles Olympics.
Jada Ross's school had one of the best football programs seasons ever this fall in Oregon's first season in the Big Ten. The Ducks dominated. Dan Lanning's squad went 12-0, undefeated through the regular season, then beat Penn State in the Big Ten championship game earlier this month. The Ducks will start their quest for a national title in the college football playoff beginning on New Year's Day in Pasadena. Monday, April 8th was a big day for millions across the country who got to take in a long-awaited solar eclipse. And while we didn't get totality in our region, similar to what many saw in 2017, we did get some great views. Here you can see the moon eclipsing the sun in Medford at around 25%, although it wasn't visible without a pair of special eclipse glasses. In fact, without it, it appeared to be a normal sunny day with some cloud coverage. If you missed it, the next one for the majority of the U.S. is projected to be in 2044.
We lost a number of longtime community leaders this year, including a legend in local music and teaching. Lynn Sholin passed away in the spring. Sholin led the Rogue Valley Chorale as its longtime artistic director from 1973 to 2013. According to its website, he also toured Europe 7 times and even performed at Carnegie Hall. But Sholin's impact may be felt most by his many students. Sholin taught in the Medford School District, and after his retirement, continued teaching at Lewis and Clark College, U of O, and Southern Oregon University. Chuck Mettler, a Medford businessman and a longtime fixture in local youth sports, passed away in May. Mettler moved to Medford in 1964, and in 1969, he opened his own business, Modern Appliance. In addition to raising a large family that played in the Southern Oregon Golf Tournament every year, he was also very involved in the Medford Linebackers and the Rogue Valley Family YMCA.
Jed Meese, a longtime local resident and SOU supporter, died in June. His wife Celia passed away months later this fall. The couple founded Vitaline Corporation, a dietary supplement and pharmaceuticals manufacturer. The SOU Foundation says the couple added significant gifts over the decades to SOU athletics, the arts, scholarship programs, and to various capital projects. Most notably to Hannon Library. A gift from their foundation also led to the naming of a Medford hospice facility, Celia's House, in her honor. Former Oregon Governor Neil Goldschmidt died at the age of 83 this fall. An attorney, Goldschmidt became Portland's then youngest mayor. Then he served as U.S. Transportation Secretary in 1979 during the Carter administration. He served one term as governor before pivoting to a career as a lobbyist and business consultant. Goldschmidt's political career came to an end in the early 2000s after he admitted to having sex with a minor decades earlier.
The Rogue Valley lost a beloved artist and caterer this year. Over the years, Donna Patella worked as a florist, art teacher, wedding and event planner, and caterer. Patella was described by family as an untamed soul who lived to feed friends and family, sit in the sun, cruise in a convertible, and enjoy a pool party. And finally, NBC5 lost one of our own this year. Lee Graber was a skilled audio engineer who became a video technician and then our head of information technology. Lee's over 35 years of broadcast and engineering experience traversed the analog to digital spectrum. The Oregon Association of Broadcasters even awarded Lee with the James Boyd Broadcast Heritage Award for 2023. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to NBC5's 2024 Year in Review special. We've covered a variety of stories impacting our local communities this past year. Now it's time to look ahead.
That's right. We started our show with the alleged drug diversion case at Asante, and it's definitely one of our stories to watch in 2025. Former RRMC nurse Danny Marie Schofield's criminal trial, in which the former nurse has pleaded not guilty to 44 counts of assault, will likely begin in 2025. Several civil lawsuits have also been filed against both Schofield and Asante. Those probably won't be resolved until after the criminal proceedings wrap up.
In several southern Oregon counties, new commissioners are taking office in 2025. In Jackson County, Republican Randy Sparacino defeated Democrat Denise Krause in November. In Klamath, Andrew Nichols topped Regina Jackson. And in Josephine County, Chris Barnett and Ron Smith will replace Dan DeYoung and Herman Bert Sugar.
Finally tonight, after closing down in 1986 and more than 12 years of painstaking work, the iconic Hawley Theater is set to finally reopen early next year. NBC5 News took a look inside the historic building this fall as it reached a milestone in the restoration effort, installing over 1,000 new seats. Since buying the building back in 2011, nonprofit Jefferson Live has been in a labor of love, faithfully restoring the theater to its former glory.
Pretty unique building, and it's been restored lovingly and carefully. It's kind of like this grand old lady, and what we're going to make new in this old building is what's the most exciting for me. We really want to embrace the community, and we need to from the get-go.
The theater opened way back on August 29th, 1930. So exciting to see that happen just a couple of weeks. Well, as we wrap up 2024, we want to be sure to say thank you to you, our viewers, for inviting us into your home each and every night.
We hope 2025 is a happy and healthy one for you and yours. Have a great night.
NBC5 News' exclusive presentation, Looking Back on 2024, was sponsored by the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe and Sherm's Markets.